Hello there, my learners. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Jacob. How are you? In today's video, we will learn about one of the most confusing words in the English language, and that is despite. Yes, you heard me right. Despite. So there are a lot of questions about this word. Should we use it with of, or is it different from in spite of, or should we just use them in the same manner? Well, I hope that at the end of this video, we will be able to clarify all our questions. Before we dive into our discussion, kung bago ka sa channel na to, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the latest uploads. So, tara, aral na. Okay, as we have mentioned, we will talk about the word despite. Despite. Now, it's good to look at its meaning first and its function as a word. So despite comes in three forms. We can use it as a preposition, as a noun, and as a verb. But for the purpose of this discussion, let's just focus on its use as a preposition. As a preposition or as a connecting word, despite expresses a contrast between two things. So in other words, it expresses opposition. So how does it go? Well, later on, we will look at examples where this will be clarified. Okay. Other resources suggest that this preposition means without being affected by. So when you use despite with a particular noun, it actually communicates that your sentence is not affected by whatever you will connect with this word. Okay, so once the word is connected to despite, the rest of your sentence will not be affected or influenced by it. That's what it means. Now, maybe it will surprise you to know that, wow, despite is actually synonymous to in spite of. So now one of our questions is finally answered. So don't be confused anymore because despite and in spite of are actually the same. So they are the same in meaning, they are equal, and we can use it in the same manner in your sentence. Both communicate contrast. So it is also important to take note that despite should be followed by a noun, or in other cases, a noun phrase. So a noun phrase is just a group of words connected to your noun. So your noun has other words together with it. It could be an adjective or participial adjective. So again, despite should be followed by a noun. In some situations, despite can be followed by a gerund. So what is a gerund? A gerund is a verb form. It looks like a verb, but actually it works like a noun. So we go back to its original form, despite plus noun. Okay? To make it a lot clearer, let's take a look at this example. Despite extreme poverty, his parents were able to send him to the best school in the country. Now, what's the contrast here? So we can see the word poverty. Well, we know that it's difficult to go to a good school, much more the best school if you're poor. Most of the time, rich people or those who have enough or more than enough money can actually afford to go to the best schools, right? But in this situation, with the use of despite, it communicates that poverty doesn't affect the rest of the sentence. Still, they can go to the best school. Maybe because he is smart enough or he was able to get a scholarship. But yeah, in this case, poverty doesn't seem to influence or affect the rest of your sentence because of the preposition despite. Let's take a look at this sentence. So here, what we did is we just replaced the word despite with in spite of. As we said, despite is equal to in spite of. So we can just use it in the same manner. And by the way, when you're starting your sentence with despite or in spite of, don't forget to use a comma after your in spite of or despite phrase. And then the rest of your sentence follows. Now, if you don't like to start with despite or in spite of in your sentence, that's fine. You can invert it. You can start with the main clause like this. His parents were able to send him to the best school in the country despite extreme poverty. Or substituting despite with in spite of, his parents were able to send him to the best school in the country in spite of extreme poverty. So there you have it. We did not change the meaning of the sentence at all, even though we inverted the sentence structure. So in Tagalog, ito ang ibig sabihin niya, no? Sa kabila ng kahirapan, yun pala yung equivalent ng despite tsaka in spite of, sa kabila. So to complete the sentence, sa kabila ng kahirapan, ang mga magulang niya ay napag-aral siya sa pinakamagandang paaralan sa bansa. Pwede rin sa kabila ng kahirapan, napag-aral siya ng kanyang mga magulang sa napakaganda or sa pinakamagandang paaralan sa bansa. Let's try another example. Despite our failures and sins, God continues to love us. Again, see the contrast. So there's failure and sins, but it doesn't affect the rest of the sentence, especially the part that says God loves us continuously, right? So kahit na may sin at pagkakamali, mahal pa rin tayo ng Diyos. Sa kabila ng ating pagkakamali at mga kasalanan, ang Diyos ay patuloy na nagmamahal sa atin. Yan ang Tagalog niyan. Okay, now let's try to substitute despite with in spite of. So in spite of our failures and sins, God continues to love us. Again, the meaning is the same even if we changed our preposition to in spite of. And likewise, you can invert this. You can start with God continues to love us in spite of our failures and sins. And still, the meaning is the same. All right. This is to answer the other question. Should we use of with despite? Well, do not use despite with of. Despite as a preposition can be used alone. Again, do not use of with despite. Just use it as it is. There is no such thing as despite of. Okay, well, I hope that this lesson has finally cleared out everything, every confusion that we have at the moment. Thank you for joining me here. Before we leave, please don't forget our good habit. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and more importantly, or most importantly, don't forget to share because your life is a gift and every good gift must be shared. Let's start here. Okay, mga KaLearners, until the next video, happy learning.
Best of me.